I can't, yo, I'm getting old as fuck. This movie's 20 years old.
Hey!
Perfection.
Guess who turned 20 today? Bryan Singer's 2000 X-Men. I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. Growing up, I did not really collect the Avengers. It's crazy how the Avengers right now are so large. Like the Avengers is the face of Marvel right now. But back in the day when I collected comics, that was not the case. To me, it was all about the X-Men, the Incredible Hulk, Batman, Daredevil. But the X-Men, as far as groups go, as far as ensembles go, it was all about the X-Men. The 90s cartoon, y'all, come on. That was probably the illest cartoon in the 90s. You used to toss up between X-Men and Batman, the animated series. All right, I love this fucking franchise. When I saw the trailer for the movie for the first time, I lost my shit. Then I went to go see the movie. Me and my partner that I work with at Blockbuster, my man Brandon, shout out to Brandon. We went to go see this together. And man, this movie blew me away at the time because I just never thought I would see X-Men on the big screen. Like growing up reading the comic books, I said there's no way they can take this and make this like live action. You know, with the exception of Superman and Batman, I never thought that I would see Marvel characters on the big screen. And then come 98, Blade drops. Okay, boom. All right, well, I know we're never going to see Spider-Man or the Hulk. And then I never thought about the X-Men. So here it is, y'all. I'm watching this movie. And it starts out with Magneto as a little kid. By the way, spoilers, y'all. If you haven't seen X-Men, turn this shit off, man. Come back when you watch the movie. Let's talk about it. But this is the 20th anniversary review, goddammit. So I'm getting into spoilers. Yeah, it starts out with the young Magneto in World War II. He was part of the Holocaust. His mom's is taken away. He loses his shit. And he finds out that he has the power of magnetism. And from there, he's just full of rage and grows up to be a really angry fucking person that wants to wage war on the human race because of what happened to him and because of the constant oppression against his brothers, Malcolm X. Then you got the other side, Charles Xavier, who wants to bring peace and unity between mutants and mankind and come together as one. Dr. Martin Luther King. Two opposing sides. Can't really say which one's right or wrong because you understand both sides. So the thing about the X-Men is that there's no clear-cut good and evil. It's all about perspective. And it's funny in today's times, why am I siding more with Magneto? Right off the bat, the standout in this movie is Hugh Jackman in his first role. His first American role. I think because he's from Australia, so I'm pretty sure he did some Australian stuff. But his first American role. Nobody in the States has ever seen him. When I seen Hugh Jackman, I seen Wolverine. I said, holy shit, that's Wolverine. That's Logan from the comics. That's Logan from the cartoon. But, now, I think we all can agree with this. Look-wise, body-wise, that was not Wolverine. Wolverine is 5'3", big and stocky. He's more like a Tom Hardy build. Hugh Jackman's 6'2", and built like an NBA point guard almost. All right, but from the neck down, he didn't look the part. But, you know, the face, the mannerisms, the way his performance, I saw Wolverine. Like, that's how you know performance is good, when you look past the physical attributes and just see that's fucking Logan. Patrick Stewart is Professor X. Just like Hugh Jackman embodied Logan, Patrick Stewart was born to play Xavier. Charles Xavier, excuse me. Yeah, we all know him as Picard from Star Trek, which I never watched Star Trek The Next Generation, so fuck that. I'll always see Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, Professor X. Now, your boy that plays Magneto, Ian McKellen. Back then, I wasn't a fan of him playing Magneto. I'll be real with y'all. I was not a fan of him playing Magneto. He just didn't look... Magneto has that menacing presence. You know, he's got that presence where even without the power of magnetism, there was just something about him where you knew he was different. And if you said the wrong thing, you'd probably take your damn head off. And Ian McKellen didn't really, bring that. He just looked like an old man who was going back and forth with another old man on some grumpy old men type shit. And that's what I got out of that. So Ian McKellen as Magneto, I wasn't really a fan of. Actually, Michael Fassbender's Magneto, to me, is way superior. Because Michael Fassbender, he looks and plays the part of a menacing Magneto. That's just my opinion. You know, I'd take Fassbender over Ian McKellen any day. Now, if I have any gripes about this movie, because I have, now mind you, even though I really dig X-Men, don't get me wrong, I really dig X-Men, but this movie is really plagued with problems, but not enough to where I'm going to say, don't watch this movie, or, you know, I don't like this movie. There's more that I liked about this movie than what I didn't like. But now some of the things that I didn't like is some of the characters. Sabretooth is one of them. Now, if you read the comics, if you know the cartoons, Sabretooth is a wise ass. He's a shit talker. He is Logan's equal. He is the evil version of Logan. You know what I mean? And they have a dark past, which this movie sets up where they were going to kind of get into that more in the future, which they kind of did. They kind of did, but not here. So in here, Sabretooth is nothing more but a henchman. He's a dumb, buffoonish henchman for Magneto. And that's it. He makes little growling noises. He says a line every now and then, but there's nothing to his character. I was disappointed in that. I was disappointed in Storm. Halle Berry as Storm. Now, mind you, Halle Berry, this is before Monsters Ball when Billy Bob was blowing her back out. This was still hot Halle Berry that we all know and love. And as Storm, and it's not her fault. You know, I blame the writers and the directors for this. Storm in the comics, in the cartoons, is kick-ass, all right? Especially in the comics. Storm can fight, all right? She's good with the knife. She will fuck you up. And she was the leader of the X-Men. All right, I think when they brought him back in the 70s, Storm was the leader until Cyclops came back. All right, so Storm was that bitch. And they made her kind of a damsel in distress the whole time until she came and struck Toad with lightning, which this has to be one of the most corniest lines ever in movie history.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Then you have James Marsden as Cyclops, I think I said his name right, who ended up doing movies where he's the sidekick to a CGI character. But he kind of had the look of Cyclops, but there was nothing to his character. Like, the only characters in this movie that had any kind of meat, that had any depth, was Wolverine, Rogue, Professor X, and Magneto. That's it. Everybody else was just there. Everybody else was just there to display their powers and do some cool shit. And, like, that was it. But I'm like, that's not the point of the X-Men. You know, the X-Men, every one of them has a story, and I know that would be too much to squeeze into one movie. And plus, I know at the time the budget was limited. There was only so much they can do effects-wise. So listen, I'm going to cut this movie some slack. There was only so much they can do back in 2000. I get that. But I don't know. I just felt like they missed the mark on a lot of these characters. This was really the Wolverine show. This is really the Wolverine, Magneto, Professor X show. All right. And Rogue as the Laurie Strode or whatever of this movie. I don't know where the hell I got Laurie Strode from. Definitely, X-Men was the beginning of the modern superhero movie where it was grounded, but at the same time still stayed true to the source material, unlike the Batman franchise, which really killed the superhero franchise, like when Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, like that was it. No studio wanted to touch a superhero property. And then here comes Blade, a B character that nobody really knew about. So X-Men was like the first mainstream superheroes that they brought to the big screen and took a gamble on. And when it became a success, they said, hey, we can do Spider-Man, we can do the Fantastic Four and all these other. So X-Men, so if Blade resurrected the superhero genre, okay, but X-Men really set the blueprint of what was to come with the superhero movies. Rewatching this again, yeah, the nostalgia was real, you know, it brought back some good memories. I will say that this movie definitely is the most grounded of the X-Men movie, but I liked it better than 3. Actually, I liked it better than most of the X-Men movies. So even though it didn't have the action and everything that you expect from an X-Men film, you know, especially when you watch the cartoons, but still, I think this movie had enough heart and enough charm. And it really has something to say also, you know what I'm saying? It goes into the politics, it goes into the discrimination of mutants. It really goes into that, and it's not just a regular action superhero movie. This is a film that has something to say, and that's why I feel like it stands the test of time as compared to, say, The Last Stand, where The Last Stand was nothing but an action movie. So, I mean, I'll be honest, when I went to see The Last Stand, I was entertained. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was an action-packed X-Men movie, but it is forgettable compared to the other ones. So the first one, the 2000s one, brilliant. You know what I'm saying? X2, took it to a whole nother fucking level. And after that, it was just missed opportunity after missed opportunity. And to me, the only ones after X2 that worked was First Class and Days of Future Past and Logan. And that's it. That is it. Wrapping this up, because I know you don't want to hear me go on and on about it. I'm just, excited to be talking about this because I love this franchise. And I really dig this movie, even though I had problems with it. Like I said, the lack of depth with the characters, especially some of the lead characters that really are the face of the franchise, you know what I mean? And sometimes the pacing was a little slow, that there wasn't a whole lot of, the action scenes weren't special, you know what I mean? The effects were kind of dated, but this is made in 2000, so I'm going to cut it some slack. Yeah, the action was unoriginal. Like, there was a lot of people going through walls, there was a lot of people on hospital beds, and yeah, just not a whole lot, man. But overall, I dig this movie, y'all. I really dig this movie. So wrapping this up, I'm gonna give X-Men, 2000's X-Men, I'm gonna give it a B+. All right, I'm gonna give it a B+. Really dug it. And yeah, y'all, it's 20 years old. Shit. Anyways, y'all, what did y'all think about X-Men? Comment freely below. Tell me what you thought about it, your experience going to see it, whatever it may be. And if you like and did the content, hit that like and subscribe, notification bell in the corner. This is Rashad G signing out this mug. See you in the next video.